Hey there, it's Patrick Franco. Today we're going to look at Navasana boat pose. This is a great pose that is one of the few poses that really focuses on abdominal strength. This is one of the poses that you'll see usually in preparation for maybe some arm balances or during the section of class when you come back to the floor and you're working in seated poses or other abdominal poses. But it is definitely a pose that focuses more on strengthening as opposed to stretching. Now, it does stretch one key component of the body, the hamstrings, because the classic version of the pose has the legs fully extended. So it does require some amount of hamstring flexibility and hamstring stretching. But it also strengthens a number of key components of the body. It strengthens the hip flexors and the quadriceps in order to keep the legs lifted. It strengthens the abdominal muscles, the spinal muscles, as well as the muscles of the shoulders, backs, and arm. So we're going to take a look at Navasana boat pose now, which again is an abdominal strengthening pose. So we'll start seated in Dandasana. And we know this shape by now, staff pose, the legs extended out in front of us, and as best as we can, we'll sit upright. To get this pose going, we are going to bend the legs. When I bend my legs, it is useful to slip the hands underneath the knees to maintain the lift of the chest, okay? When you go to lift the legs off the floor, two things need to happen. The chest needs to stay lifted, and in order to lift the feet, you want to move towards the backs of your buttock bones the least amount possible in order to get the feet up. So it's not a full reclining position. It's just enough to be able to get the legs off the ground. So I will go back enough. I get my feet off the ground, but I'm still lifting my chest up. Now the big toes and inner heels stay together. I can keep my hands there supporting to start, but then I will fully extend my legs straight. And then the arms forward. Eyes a little higher than eye level, the abdomen drawing back towards the spine, and then I'll grab underneath my knees, bend my legs to come down. So this is classic Navasana. Again, it's an abdominal strengthening pose, but the full classic version requires some hamstring flexibility in order to fully straighten the legs. Now let's look at some issues that might arise when you're working on this pose. One of the first things that happens is students collapse their chest. So if that is happening, it's really beneficial to keep the hands underneath the knees, and you can use that leverage to keep your chest lifted. So let's look at that. So instead of straightening the legs and taking the hands forward, you can keep the knees bent and use the hands under the knees to support the lift of the chest. So it starts here though, lift the chest, go back, and then lift your legs. Even if this is the shape where you're using your hands underneath your knees to keep your chest lifted as opposed to collapsing in your back, right? And then even here with the knees bent and the hands underneath the knees, you can still extend your legs and use your hands to support the lift of your chest. These are both better options than letting your chest collapse just to extend the legs. So this is a common issue that comes up with Navasana, and one way to address it is to use the arms and the hands behind the knees to support the lift of the chest. Now the second thing that often comes up is that if your hamstrings are tight, it just might not be accessible to fully extend the legs. And in that case, you can definitely work on this pose with bent knees. So one more way in which we can approach Navasana is with the use of a yoga strap around the feet. This gives us the ability to both straighten the legs and to lift the chest simultaneously. So I have a strap here. I'm gonna sit in Dandasana. And then I'm gonna take the strap when I bend my knees, and I'm gonna put the strap around the ball of my foot. And then I'll have a tail in each hand, a tail of the strap in each hand. Now I do have to lift my chest, shift my weight back to get my heels up, and then I'm balancing. This is where the abdominal strengthening muscles come into play to stabilize myself. I'm gonna breathe in, and then as I breathe out, I press through my heels and the ball of the foot. And because I have the strap there, I can pull on it to lift my chest up as my legs extend. And I'll spread my toes as I reach my heels and the balls of the foot away. This is a great alternative to holding the hands underneath the knees that both helps extend the legs and lift the chest. So there you have it, Navasana boat pose. It's a great abdominal strengthening pose. All right, we'll see you on the mat next time.